If you commit suicide, you will not be reborn as a human. Is that a good thing? To be reborn among your enemies? I'm watching this old 2019 Thai BL drama, Until We Meet Again, which is about a gay couple, two male lovers, who committed suicide because of parental disapproval on their relationship. So after this couple committed suicide, they were reborn into new families, and it seemed that they carried over some memories from the past because they were always having nightmares about their past lives and how they died. And they were both searching for each other. And so one day they found each other and discovered their lost love, and so they got back again together and they met each other's families. Okay, firstly, about rebirth. If you commit suicide, you will not be reborn as a human. Because when you commit suicide, the mind is in a state of great disturbance and unrest and confusion, and there's usually a lot of anger, hatred, a lot of negativity and feelings at that point of death. And killing yourself is also violating the first precept, which is to abstain from killing, and that includes yourself. So what happens when you kill yourself? If you kill yourself, you will be reborn in hell. That's the destination for people who commit suicide. So firstly, in the Dharma, for anyone who commits suicide, if you are not an arahant, you will not be reborn as a human, and you will suffer in hell for a very long time. The arahants can kill themselves. Okay, they can do anything because there's no new karma being created. They've already stopped seeking in their last birth. So there's no new birth and no new death. But if you're not an arahant and you commit suicide, it's almost for sure that you will end up in hell, or unless you are an Arya. But of course, Aryas won't commit suicide because they know they have to finish the job. A Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami knows that they have to finish the job to become Arahant. So for an ordinary Pudujana who commits suicide because of some silly reason like love or anger or grudges or revenge or whatever silly reason, you will be reborn in hell. So it is definitely very unlikely that a pair of lovers who commit suicide will be reborn immediately in the next life as humans. The rebirth process is complex and interesting because it depends on your karma and where your karma will drive you. There will be choices on where to be reborn to, and usually your karma will drive you towards a family that you're familiar with. And when you're reborn into a family you're familiar with, it may not be a good family. That your parents that you chose are the ones that you're familiar with. You'll be surrounded by your familiar friends, relatives, and enemies. Is that a good thing? To be reborn among your enemies? Rebirth is quite interesting. You are usually attracted to a person who was your lover in your previous life. It is this last that drives you to seek out your ex-lover. If your ex-lover is loving and kind in your previous life, then it's possible for you to be reborn to your lover who will continue to be good and kind in this life. It's just that you will be his child or her child. So you often see that a lot of fathers, they dote on their daughters. And a lot of mothers, they dote on their sons. Their children are their ex-lovers from a previous life. But if let's say your lover in the previous life was abusive, violent, unkind, treats you badly, but somehow it's because it's someone or feeling that you are familiar with, and you follow this person into your next life, and then you end up with an abusive father or mother who don't treat you well, or who ill-treats you and disregards you, or maybe even abandons you. So you see, it is this lust and attachment that drives you on to your next life and towards people that you are familiar with, regardless of whether they are good, kind, bad, or destructive and abusive, etc. And a lot of times you are attracted to the lovers who are not good to you, but somehow you just want to latch on to them and still want to follow them into the next life. Isn't that sad and disturbing? Why do you want to continue an unbeneficial relationship in this life and in your next life? A lot of these dynamics with your current partner, doesn't matter whether it's male or female, stem from the relationship that you have with your parents and the type of relationship that they have with each other and with you will reflect upon your current relationship with your partner. So if your father is violent, abusive, alcoholic, and doesn't care about the family, you are likely to find a lover who is also like this. Let's say your mother is kind, loving, nourishing, compassionate, and dotes on you, then it's possible too that you'll find someone who is like this. So whether you are male or female, and the partner that you choose, whether it's male or female, is likely to resemble one of your parents. So if both your parents are good and kind, then hopefully you'll be lucky for you if no bad karma kicks in. If both of your parents are not good people, then good luck in finding a good partner. It will be very hard because you are used to a certain kind of dynamic within the family, and for familiarity's sake, you'll find something that is similar to the relationship between your parents. Isn't it tiring and troublesome and worrisome to keep on pursuing these relationships? Whether it's with your parents or with a partner or even with your children, same thing. Your children can come back because they were your lovers in your previous life. So you see, you keep revolving around the people that you know and you're familiar with. Your parents, your partner, your children, your enemies, your colleagues, your friends, your teachers, and you keep coming back again and again to meet them and to carry on those relationships from a previous life. Isn't that tiring? You don't think that's suffering? You suffer over and over again at the hands of your enemy. I don't find that very satisfactory. There's no relationship that is satisfactory. Not with your parents, with your children, or with your partner or spouse, or with your friends and family and relatives and the people that you meet. No. All relationships are dissatisfactory. So you have to know this, and you have to see through the fragility and inadequacy of every relationship. And you can see all your past lives and all the people that you have been revolving around since aeons ago. You will be shocked and disgusted. Won't you be shocked and disgusted? Isn't it mind-boggling that you just keep on coming back again and again to experience the same kind of suffering with these people? If you can develop the concentration to look into your past lives and you see all the types of suffering that you've been through all your lives as a human, as an animal, as a hungry ghost, or as a hell being, you will develop a dispassion towards life and towards all these endless rebirths and deaths. The tears that you have cried are far more than all the 4 oceans combined. When you see that, you become truly dispassionate about life and death, and you can develop non-attachment towards life. There's no clinging towards life. You know that the purpose of this life is to develop wisdom and realize the Dharma and become Arhat. You don't need to become an Arhat to see your past lives. You can see your past lives even as a Sotapanna, a stream winner, or a Sakadagami, a once returner, or an Anagami, a non-returner. So once you see your past lives as an Arya, do you think you still want to come back? Or do you want to be free from life and birth and death and suffering, it's important to develop concentration so that mind is sharp and focused and you can penetrate into all the delusion that has clouded you for aeons, since time immemorial. There's no beginning, but you can put an end to this. You can stop suffering. You can stop recycling in this world of samsara. So keep on practicing meditation and keep on contemplating on the Dharma. And know that life is not worth living. It's not worth living when you keep coming back to suffer over and over again. You should know that the purpose of this life is to attain Nibbana and put an end to all this suffering. Because otherwise you're just asking for more suffering. Endless rounds of suffering if you do not become an Arya. So work hard, meditate, practice the Noble Eightfold Path, and use the focus and concentration from meditation to cut through all the layers of delusion and pride and this false sense of self until you realize non-self. Even just reaching the first stage of enlightenment, Sotapanna, is good enough for this life. And after you get the Sotapanna, go on and finish it, okay, whether in this life or in future lives, to attain arahantship. And then you're done. Thank you for watching. Sukhi Hotu.